Hey everyone, I'm going to go over the two questions that are in today's PowerPoint just so you can see where the numbers come from and how to get the answers. So we want to factor this binomial, negative 50x to the fourth minus 30x. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to take a look at the numbers. So we have negative 50x and negative 30. So we need to find the GCF of negative 50 and negative 30. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, what is the largest number that can go into both of these? Okay, and the largest number that can go into both of them is 10. Now notice both of these numbers are negative, so that means that our GCF is also going to be negative. So the first part of our GCF is going to be negative 10. If you're having a hard time finding that number, you can list all of the factors of 50, all of the factors of 30, and then see what the largest one they have in common is. All right, so the next part is they both have an x, there's an x in both terms. So we need to say which x do we need to take out here. So if you want, you can put your invisible exponent of 1 and you ask yourself the question, which one has a smaller exponent? And the answer is x to the first power. So that's going to be part of our GCF as well. So I'm going to just write x. If you want to write to the first power, that's fine. You don't need to. And then we're going to go from there. So we're going to divide our original binomial by our GCF. So we're going to just take both of these and divide them by negative 10x because that is our GCF. Now, our GCF always goes on the outside, and then our quotient, which is our answer after we divide, is going to go on the inside of the parentheses. So we have negative 50 divided by negative 10. That's going to give us a positive 5. And then x to the fourth divided by x to the first. Remember, we subtract exponents here, so that's going to give us x to the third. Now we're going to do the same thing. Negative 30 divided by negative 10. Negative divided by negative is going to be a positive. 30 divided by 10 is 3. And then in this case, these are exactly the same. They both have exponents of 1, so those are going to cancel out. And that's our answer. If you want, you can always check your answer by distributing. We've done that a couple times before. That's always a really great way to check your work. All right, I'm going to move to the second question in this in this PowerPoint. And this was negative 3x squared plus 2x. So I'm going to follow the same process that we did before. I want to find the GCF, and the first thing I'm going to do is focus on the numbers. What is the biggest number that can go into negative 3 and 2? So the only factor that they have in common is 1, which we don't really need to include. You can include the invisible 1 in front if you want, but 1 is the largest number, so that's part of the GCF. Now we're going to take a look at our variables. We have x squared and x. You can put your invisible 1 in there if you want to, and you say which one has a smaller exponent, and the answer is x to the first. So our GCF really has an invisible 1 there and invisible 1 there, but we do not need to include those if you don't want to. So I'm going to leave those out. Now I'm going to take our original binomial and I'm going to divide by our GCF, just like we did before. Same process. X goes on the outside, and then whatever we get as an answer goes on the inside. Now, there's really those invisible ones, so like I said, if you want to put them in, you can. Negative 3 divided by 1 just gives us negative 3. And then subtract your exponents of the same base. So 2 minus 1 is going to give us x to the first power. Don't need to put that 1 in. Plus 2 divided by 1 is 2. And these are exactly the same. That has an exponent of 1 also. Cancels out. So that is our answer. And that's it. You can check this by distributing. Up to you. Either way, that is our answer.